and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Lucky Duck. I am Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
That's me. Looking at the most handsome Mexican I've ever seen.
Only half Mexican.
Only half Mexican.
Is that Mexican hair or is that white people hair?
I think it's a mixture of Mexican and Indian. We found out, we did an ancestry, and I think me and my sister got a little more Indian in us than we thought. So I think that's where the luscious locks come from.
Half Mexican, half Indian, living in Texas. Y'all done had y'all's ass whooped by everybody.
Yeah, it's been a hard life. You know? I think it kind of is that generational stuff too, you know, because everybody. I'm 28, and somebody told me the other day I look 36. I was like, well, that makes sense. And somebody said, well, you shave your facial hair, you'll look younger. I said, that's not how it works on me. I got to keep it on there to make me
I guess we need to introduce him.
Yeah, probably.
Poor Mexican Indian that's had his ass
Poor
whooped.
Mexican, half Indian, Tommy Chong look-alike.
From Seymour, Texas. No, from Albany, Texas to Seymour, Texas to Knox City, now to Abilene and Albany. Riley Rodriquez.
How y'all doing?
Zach's best friend in the entire world.
Kin to every Mexican in Knox City.
I don't know. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's not that big of a population. It's not that hard to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but good. There's a bunch of Mexicans here.
There's so many.
Yeah, and y'all are kin to all of them.
It's almost as if they settled it here, you know?
It's almost like they were here before, white people.
Yeah, it's almost as if, you know.
And Riley looks different than he did growing up. He used to be a kind of a fat cowboy.
Yeah.
And now you look like a long-haired friend of Jesus.
Well, I mean, that's mostly true, yeah. Well, I was fat, man. I got tired of being fat, so I can attribute Blake Jones for that. Moving in with him, and he was going to the gym all the time, and he was like, "Dude, you're like really, really fat. You need to do something about that." And then a doctor told me to, so I lost a bunch of weight, and then all the hair grew out, and I didn't have to keep my hair short all the time.
What do you weigh now?
A doctor told you to lose weight?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they always fucking tell you that shit.
Well, he was like, "You're 23 and
you're fat,
and your heart rate is ridiculous right now. You did 3 step-ups, and your blood pressure is insane." So I was smoking and drinking and working in the oil field at that point. So y'all can.
You're fat and ugly, and you need a second opinion. Okay, you're still fat.
I needed a third opinion, but. Yeah, so I lost a bunch of weight, and the hair started growing out, and started personal training, and I guess that's kind of what you do, you know, grow the hair out, get ripped, get more tattoos. I think that's, like, part of the job description.
So you're a personal trainer now?
Yeah, personal trainer, and I like to say strength coach, so it doesn't make me sound like such a douchebag, but that's what it is.
Do you got any hot clients?
No,
Girls?
No. I got mostly...
No hot chicks?
I got an older lady. I got 2 stay-at-home moms, and then some jiu-jitsu athletes. That's about it.
So they're not coming back in there with the little tea bags, and you're having to work on their hips or anything and helping them inform. None of that shit goes on.
That's not part of it.
So that's just TV shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some people that do that,
but not you.
Not me. I try to be as professional as possible.
Try to
be. At least at my job, anyways.
Now, didn't you used to clean pools too?
I did. There for a little bit. I worked for a fella there in Abilene. He doesn't own it anymore, but no free ads, by the way.
Yeah.
So I used to clean pools for them. I got to managing that for a little while, and that was pretty cool. I mean,
did you see boobs?
No, didn't see any boobs. There was
dang, boy, it's no fun. All the stereotypes. You know, I'm thinking a trainer, you're getting some hot chicks and tea bags, and then
it's not as glamorous of a life as it is.
I'm telling you, you're seeing as many boobs doing that as I am fucking being a hunting outfitter.
I saw more titties in the oil field. You know what I'm saying? I might have to pay for them, but shit. That's why I got out of it, Jeff. I was like, this isn't what all it cracked up to be at all.
Yeah, because like in the movies, you know, the pool boy. He ends up going upstairs with the missus, and you know it all goes from there.
Maybe I'm not. You know, I might be slimmer than I was, but I'm not in the best shape. So maybe that's what it was. I didn't see anything because they were like, "Well, they thought the same thing. This is not at all what I signed up for."
Yeah. I hired a pool boy. That is not who I expected.
That's a goddamn yard guy.
Like he's gonna fix my AC unit. You know what I'm saying? And then steal my bike after he leaves. So maybe that's why I didn't have as much luck there. But they paid well, so I did that for a little while.
Now, you lived in Seymour, Texas, and you moved over to Knox City your sophomore year? Or your end of your freshman year?
Middle of my junior year. So I went.
You was only here 18 months? God dang, it sure seems a lot fucking longer than that.
It's been around you've been around my family for so long. It's kind of the same thing. No, I spent a lot of time here in Knox City. I mean, I think the first time I was over at your house was a 4th of July party, and somebody set a bottle rocket off in the pig barn, and that was like the first memory I have of coming over to y'all's house for 4th of July.
Was I cussing?
Oh, he very upset. I was like, oh, man, somebody messed up. I didn't know what was going on. It's my first time to ever be at 4th of July, and somebody set something off in the pig barn. And then y'all got MJ and Derek to wrestle in the front yard. And
MJ started the fucking tree on fire and shit. Yeah, I remember that shit.
It was MJ.
Yeah.
And
we were the house for all the kids to come to.
Yeah, and fuck shit up at, too.
Yeah, a lot of that shit. I'm still paying for that shit.
I distinctly remember me and Zach getting blamed for your TV being broken, and it was Christian.
That's exactly right.
Oh, me and Zach had just gotten there, like literally 30 minutes, sat down on the couch, turned the TV on, TV's broke.
Brand new when flat screens first come out, too. Me and Michelle were fixing to go to see Jimmy Buffett. And Payne was going to stay at the house, watch the house and watch Payne. Boy, that's fucking looking back. That is some bad parenting on our part.
But Payne knew this was all part of Payne's plan. He knew that y'all would be drunk and wouldn't remember what y'all did the night before. So he's like, we'll just blame Zach and Riley. They won't know.
Too bad.
Yeah.
They did it too early because Michelle and Jeff were still there. They hadn't left yet.
I'll never forget Zach goes, your new TV in here, something's wrong with it. Uh-huh. And I walked in there, and that fucking TV was shattered. I was fucking
He looked right
hot.
at us. He goes, y'all broke it. Zach said, the fuck we did? We just sat down, Jeff.
I was hot. And then I called Payne in there, and Payne never lied to me about anything.
He said, I don't know.
He goes, I don't know who did it. I go, the fucking TV broke by its fucking self? I'll never forget this. And I told Jacoby and Christian, I said, fucking go in the house. Tell you what happened on that trip. So I take them home. I'm pissed at Payne. I'm pissed because he's going to let one of his friends not take credit for something, would not confess up to what he did.
Yeah.
And I was fucking hot. And I got Jacoby home, and I go, Jacoby, where's your mom at? She's working over on Monday today.
Yeah,
well, miraculously, looky there. There she is outside. I pulled up, and she's like, hey, Mr. Jeff, how are you? I said, Debbie, we got a problem. Oh, we do? I said, yeah. I said, someone broke my brand new TV last night and threw something and it broke it, and I can't get the truth to find out who did it. But I said, it was Christian, Jacoby, or Payne. And she goes, boy, you get your ass in the house. She goes, I'm going to beat you to the white meat. She's a black lady, and her son is black. When you hear a black woman tell her son she's going to beat him to the white meat, she means it.
Yeah.
And I didn't get home, and she called me on the phone to tell me who did it. I walked in this door, and Michelle told me the same story about who did it. So it wasn't Payne or Jacoby. But I was not very happy.
Yeah.
A ping pong paddle got through a brand new TV. And that was back when TVs were cost. They had like $3,500 TV. It wasn't like the now you can buy one for $500.
Yeah, that size now you can buy for like $500.
Yeah.
At Walmart. I almost bought one the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
just like, I don't even have anywhere to put it in that camper. I just have it.
What's bad is we had it out here for the longest time, and then like you get to where you don't even notice the spot.
Yeah.
But then people come back, they're like, what the fuck's wrong with your TV? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, it is fucked up, isn't it?
Just one side of it had a ping pong paddle through it. Matter of fact, we just replaced it a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Still doesn't look right up there. That new TV it doesn't look right. Yeah,
somebody throw a ping pong paddle at it.
Bring back the old one.
That was a bad day. But I didn't realize you was only here for 18 months because y'all got in a lot of fucking trouble, you and Zach did, for just a short amount of time then.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. In my defense, I did a lot of. There's a lot more trouble we could have got into. But.
Oh, I'm not shocked by that. But you could tear shit up more than anybody I know. Oh, I mean, I've seen you pour a glass of tea at my house one time and the fucking pitcher just breaks. I told Michelle, that kid just fucks up everything he touches.
I don't feel like that's exactly how it happened, Jeff.
How did that happen then?
I have no idea.
The pitcher just broke on its own, so God just intervened.
Was it hot tea?
Have you ever drank hot fucking tea?
No, like was it fresh made tea? Like
I'm sure Michelle probably made tea for you guys at lunch.
More than likely, I probably put real cold water in it and broke it. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't break it. I'm just saying I didn't.
No, it was the pitcher. It just the handle just come off of it, a glass handled pitcher. And Michelle's like, "How the fuck does he just touch shit and it just fall apart?"
Glassware is what that is.
Because we've used that pitcher for 20 years.
You can talk to the glass blowers about that, man. I don't know. Go somewhere else.
So when you first moved to Knox City, and you were in this, you knew Zach before you came to school here?
No, I didn't know Zach
So y'all just gravitated towards each other.
Yeah, when I got here, my aunt had told me that there was.
She said, "Stay away from him."
She goes, "There's a guy I think you'll get along with. His name is Zach." And the funny thing is, I didn't. So I went to the football game the week before I came over here, or maybe I think the last game of the year, and I thought that Brandon was Zach. I wasn't paying attention to who she was pointing at, so I thought that Brandon was Zach. And then Zach pulled up, and he was walking inside, and he had his glasses on and his arm all hemmed up, and I was like, who's this fucking nerd coming in here? and then we just started. I don't even know how we ended up. I think I was acting like a dickhead in Mr. Collins' class, and that was like Zach's thing. So
acting like a dick. Yeah, I can see that.
And that's just kind of how it all started.
Because all of a sudden there was this Riley kid. Yeah, me, Riley, and Brandon. I'm like, who's Riley?
Well,
I mean, he tells me, he goes, you know Riley? I said, no, I don't. I said, yeah, you do. He said, that's Roy's son. I said, Roy Rodriguez? He ain't got no damn son.
He ain't got no, yeah.
I didn't know he, and because Roy hung out with Dad and them at the cafe at the old man table.
Well, yeah, because everybody thought he was my granddad.
Yeah, I was like, that's his son.
Didn't have me till they were like, my mom was, I think, 40 or 39, and he was, or 39 or 40, so they were old as hell.
Yeah, and so I was like, I didn't know that. Then you started coming around.
Everybody used to think he was my granddad.
I thought, dang it, Danielle's husband, Frankie. I thought Frankie just had a love child somewhere. I was like, who's that fat girl that he knocked up at that fat
We
kid?
used to give my mom shit about that because Josh acted a lot like Dad when he was younger, and I acted a lot like
Frankie?
Jeffrey.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey was a lot like Frankie. It was more like Frankie.
You were built more like Jeffrey.
And I acted like Jeffrey and Frankie. And they would always give my mom shit about that, and then I started picking on her, and I was like, y'all do a little wife swapping back in the day or something like that? And she did not laugh at that at all. She didn't think it was near as funny as I did and Zach did. But.
So you had a fun childhood in Knox City.
Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good existence here. Got in a lot of trouble. I had way too much freedom. Dad was kind of old and retired
most old
after
men,
that, so he's like, man, I don't.
Yeah, most old men don't need to be raising teenage boys.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm the same way right now. If my grandkids, we found out that if Andy and Jesse are on this big vacation, if something would happen to them, listen to this shit.
Oh shit!
They're going to give the boys to either Zach or Payne over us. Now, if you had to choose, where would you have your children live with?
Payne.
Well, now that too. Payne ain't going to be too privy on that shit.
I don't know, man. It'd be rough on you once like you said.
Oh, no. For us, it would be, as we got older, that would be a tough deal.
Right now, it wouldn't be bad, but
I don't know.
I got a 6 and a 3-year-old, so like 10 years down the line.
I'd be 63 years old. I'd be wanting to go to the old folks' loafing table also.
You'd be Dad's age. Yeah. Well, he was almost 60 when I was 18, and he was 60 when I was 18.
Jameson, no more fucking neck tattoos till you get out of the house, okay, son?
I don't know. Zach might be all right. He's dadding pretty hard these days. He's not popping his finger off.
He's grown up a lot.
He's got Shelby to bring him. She keeps him in
pretty
line.
tempered, and then he keeps fucking himself up out there. So
he'll be like he might be an older man in 10 years than Jeff is.
He might be old like Dad if he ain't careful. Dad was old by the time he was 50.
Now Zach's going down that road pretty fast.
That cowboy life is hard.
It is, and he likes that hard shit. Though.
For anybody that don't know this, Zach had a horse fall on him and he shattered his leg, and it turned out Jesus stepped in and his leg wasn't shattered, and he's back now walking normal. But then the other day he was roping and pulled off half his fucking thumb.
Yeah, popped that off, and then I texted it.
Something happened today we don't know about yet?
No, I texted him that, I don't know, it'd been probably a week since I'd talked to him, so I was just like, I said, are you dead? And he was like, he goes, just as casual as can be, was just like, yeah, I'm good, just popped my thumb off the other day, and I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
Now, it always happens at this table. I got the text the first day, and I read it, and I was like, a choppered him out. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Accident and chopper. I'm thinking a truck wreck or some shit. And I read it, and no, he had a fucking horse fall on him, and they fixed a helicopter him to. So we go down to Abilene, and then 2 weeks later, we're sitting here, and I read on the deal that Zach pulled half his thumb off. And Michelle goes, "You want me to send pictures?" Like, fuck, I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, he wanted to send me a picture immediately after it happened, and I was like, "Nah, I don't want to see that shit."
He threw a football out here with Andy the other day. Let me tell you this too. Tried to get him to play football one-on-one the other
He's
day.
on one leg. I'm not going to do that.
Andy didn't want to get his ass smoked by his little brother's what it was.
He wouldn't have got off the line.
Yes, he
With
would've.
that bum knee of his,
Yeah, he
I'd have
would've.
fucking jammed him. I would have jammed him and
I think we just have to see it.
just held him there.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere. He doesn't have any leverage.
Andy, do we have to bring up the foot race from years ago?
He was in his prime condition. He was 18 years old.
He was.
I was
in
23.
The worst condition.
I was 23 years
He was
old.
smoking 3 packs of Marlboros a day, and he still smoked your ass.
Zach
in
was.
Converse.
Yes.
How old was Zach?
It don't matter. He's always going to be faster and a
think
better
he-
athlete than you are.
I don't know. He's got
don't
a short stride about him now.
Well, he does have his short stride. He's starting to get kind of
Yeah,
beat
he
up.
is. He is a little beat up. You might have him a little bit if you just get a little bit lower than him.
I could get
One of my all the boys have had different groups of guys.
Right.
The kids have done different things, and so I had 3 generations. I don't know anybody anymore in town, especially the young people, because man, I'd go to school and all the boys, everybody'd come talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, hey Jeff, because I was a cool dad. I wasn't the one that was real. I don't know how to
Right,
explain
yeah.
it. I mean, they all like me because they was
Yeah.
around me a lot. Well, nowadays I around kids, they don't even know how to fucking talk around us. They're scared of me, Mr. Stanfield.
Yeah.
Fuck, you boys never ever called me Mr. Stanfield.
It's that judge status.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
guess.
Brandon Bradley.
I wasn't
Brandon
intimidated.
Bradley calls everybody Mr.
Oh yeah.
Miss Stanfield. Never ever has he ever said Mr. Stanfield. So he's Jeff.
I only refer to Michelle as Miss Stanfield to her.
Yeah.
I call her Michelle because y'all don't. You're like, what are you talking about? But to her, I don't know why I can't call her anything else but Miss Stanfield.
Well, everybody else calls
Oh yeah.
me Jeff. I'm never
Yeah, I've
Mr.
never
Stanfield.
yeah, you got real pissed off at me after y'all caught us at having a graduation party when we weren't graduating.
There's a lot of times I was pissed off at y'all.
But I called him Jeff in the courtroom,
Uh-oh.
and he was very upset.
Miss, it's Judge Stan. Did he pull? It's the Judge Stanfield in here?
Sit up, you're in court. And I was
Sit
like,
up. Yeah. You got bad posture.
I put my elbows
There's
on.
there was 13 of y'all in there, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Y'all brought me in alone. I never
Oh,
saw
okay.
anybody.
Okay,
I
well-
got called at like 10 o'clock, and Danielle was pissed. She came in there and she goes, "Get out of bed and go to City Hall right now." And I was like, "Okay." So I put my clothes on and come up there.
I think
and
I saw all 13 but you that
You
day.
seen, because when I pulled up, it was Zach, Blake, and Brandon and Austin were up, trucks were up there. And I said, "Oh man, this shit ain't good."
I'll have to give this much. Y'all had a place in the woods that y'all had to party at.
Y'all just left us the hell alone.
That was
caused
the
no
most
problem.
immaculate fucking deal. It had freaking walk paths down there with handrails and shit they built on it.
We stole all those pallets from Lawrence Brothers.
Some bitch was nice.
We Austin, you give me a little credit to Austin. He's pretty industrious.
He did. I was very impressed.
He cleared all those little twigs and trees out of there, and then wove a bunch of that shit through the brush, and then we went and laid all those. It took us. I think we did it probably 2 weeks before the graduation party, and it took us we worked our asses off to get that thing ready.
I'm gonna tell you what, it looked like fucking something you'd see at Disney World.
And we had to make sure that I remember that we were all like, we got to make sure this path is clear because we're gonna be drunker and shit coming through here. And I'll be damned if I didn't eat it hard and I had a big old scrape down the back of my elbow that very night.
That some
I
bitch
was super drunk.
I was very impressed though. We walked in there. I was like,
And then we had to go
I
tear
was
the whole
like-
son of a bitch down.
I was like, God damn, some bitch looks like Disney World. Like I'm expecting to go in there and there's gonna be a Jungle Book ride in there or
Yeah.
some shit. It was nice.
Well, a lot of them slept out there that night.
I could see why. It was real nice.
There's a big bonfire built, and then we had to go tear the whole damn thing
We had
down.
that thing leased too, and I was like, I'd like to kind of keep this, like runners down here.
Yeah.
But it was very, very nice deal. But yeah, I was not impressed with that. There was a lot
But
of things.
that was
I
your
wasn't-
junior year, though?
No.
That was summer. Going into the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into your senior year.
Going
Yes.
into senior year.
But
yeah.
y'all, it was a graduation party.
Yeah, well, I mean,
for the junior
yeah,
class.
we didn't really like the seniors, so we was kind of.
Yeah, this would be our deal.
Just an excuse to fucking drink and
Yeah,
party.
that too.
That's what it was about.
They said, man, Dad was real pissed because I left that blue and white cooler out there, that bench cooler, and it had his name on it, Dad's name on it. And they were like, "We know it was you," and I was like, I guess I'm not getting around this one."
He ever forgive you for giving away his cow skull at graduation?
Oh, he didn't care.
Okay.
He was like, he didn't want it. He just bitched about it the whole time. But then I told him it was part of a prank. So I kind of regret giving it though. I kind of wish I had it back. It's pretty cool.
The best prank y'all ever did though was y'all come into the house one time. Me and Michelle sitting in the back room. They come in. And Zach goes, "Anything been on the scanner yet?" I was like,
Dead giveaway.
What the fuck did y'all do? Ain't nothing on the scanner. Then I hear him come. Then I hear him come in. 98, you're needed down at the housing project. 98, you're needed down at the housing project. I go, what the fuck did y'all do? They're like, we set in acetylene bomb down there. I go, what? We put a bunch of acetylene in a damn trash bag and we lit it on fire and it blew a big old hole in it. Those black people come out of that freaking housing project and they were
upset.
Yeah.
Shook their pictures off the wall. Yeah. We'd been out there doing it all afternoon in like little Ziploc bags. And then we were like, well, where can we go do it? And so we were like, well, let's just go do it down there, like right outside of town. And we didn't expect it to be as bad as it was going to be. It hadn't been that loud out there. It was a nice little pop, but that was about it. And we had it. I don't know if it was a trash bag or a big gallon Ziploc bag. But I hung back behind the fence, and then Brandon went around the end, laid it down, sprinkled gasoline, and set it on fire. But he didn't remember where he set the gasoline at. So he just threw a match down, and that shit went up all around his feet. He was just standing right in the middle of it.
Oh, bugs.
And he, just booked it out of there. And all you just hear is just heavy breathing and footsteps. Just go, go, go. And, we're sitting there for a minute, and it just boom, and it reverberated against that privacy fence back there. It was a lot louder than we thought it was going to be. All of us got a little bit nervous.
The fire trucks go down there. The cops are down there.
Yeah, my fat ass is trying to sprint across a wheat field.
Then they call me. They're like, hey. I was like, yeah, I know exactly what happened. That was the end of it.
Nobody. Yeah, and that was the end of it. That's a good thing about old Jeff. That's why we just called him Jeff when he come.
But he did not like it when you put your elbows on his desk.
No, he was upset about that. Well, it's because I was not snitching is what was going on.
Oh.
And he wanted me to tell because apparently it had already been told.
I knew what was going on.
He already knew the truth.
And I had parents chewing on my ass for freaking 12 hours.
Why were they chewing on your ass?
Because everybody chewed on my ass about all that stuff that happened with them and anybody else.
But their kids were involved.
Well, yeah, but my kid was one of the ringleaders, they thought, and he was.
But what does it matter? Like, your kid is out there partaking in the good times.
My son got just as much trouble as everybody else did. I never, ever kept nobody from getting in trouble. Zach's cleaned many of fire trucks and did a lot of community service.
I always wanted to tell you this, though, but...
No, this is not going to be good.
There was a ticket that you threatened us all with. And you said if y'all, and you told, well, Zach told me because you told him to tell me, but you said if y'all mess up this summer, we're going to do something about this. And I was like, man, that sounds weird. I don't feel like you can do that. So I was freaking out because I was like, oh man, there's no way I'm not going to fuck up. This is like the first weekend of summer.
It's not even June yet.
So I called my mom and I was like, Jeff wrote us this particular type of ticket, and he said if we fuck up, he's going to get us. And she was like, that's bullshit. He's just trying to make y'all act right. That entire summer, we spent I think we went up the weight room like 3 days a week and worked out. Zach was not messing up. We didn't do hardly any drinking the rest of that summer.
I'm glad then. Some of my bullshit worked.
Yeah. But I was like, man, that just sounds... I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know part of this.
I had a guy in town got in trouble one time. He's gotten in a lot of trouble. And he was a likable guy. Had a horrible past, though. Had been in trouble a bunch with big time stuff. Stole a cop car. That's pretty serious shit. Mm-hmm. In Houston. So anyways, he comes in to see me, and he had some tickets. He'd only been in Knox City not long. And I told him, I said, listen, I'll tell you what I'll do. I said, if you'll move out of here and move back down there,
you'll go home.
I said, I'll hold these tickets and I'll keep them in my desk and we'll never do nothing about them if you'll just leave. So then another old lady comes with him down there, and she thinks I'm being rude. And I explained to her, and she looks at him, she goes, listen, he's trying to cut you a break here.
Yeah,
you got $1,000 worth of tickets. If you'll just leave Knox City and won't come back again, he won't do nothing to you.
You got no ties here.
He had no ties. Just the place he stopped on the damn road, and he was getting in trouble again. And I told him, I said, if you'll just go on. Because he had no money to pay his fine anyways.
Yeah. You're just going to end up...
The city's going to be better off if you're going somewhere else anyways. So he moved.
You obviously don't want to be here. You're causing all kinds of trouble. Go on.
Yeah. And so that was my kind of way of bluffing him, too. Like, listen, you got $1,000 in tickets. You're going to go to jail, blah, 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 blah. And he left. So it worked out good. I don't think that's in the book that you could do that, but it worked.
Hey, worked.
Y'all were probably like the last group, like old school type.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like doing the shit that like our parents did.
We haven't had that since they've left in town that I know of.
Just a group of kids that partied hard,
played hard,
very good in sports. I mean, when you think like Varsity Blues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was basically y'all. Like y'all dominated on the football field, and y'all fucking your after parties were legendary. And You hadn't had that.
Y'all were the same kids that grew up in this country for 40 or 50 years that it was, well, they're boys.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys.
Boys. Nowadays, everything's dangerous. Now everything's got, like, if I can't imagine the kids today in school building a fucking Disneyland amusement park ride for a
Just
fucking
drink
place
some
to have
beer.
a party and under a canopy of trees.
Yeah, and with always with the hope that, first off, I just want to say that it was always pretty much the same people at every one of our parties we ever threw.
Right.
But we always had the hope that there would just be some truckload of girls that would show up and see all of this big, immaculate camping spot that we had set up that they don't want to be at, by the way, because as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old boy, you don't realize that they don't want to hang out in dirt and smoke for 4 hours while you get shit-faced with your buddies and try to that's not how this works.
Who was the wingman, you or Zach, when it come to girls?
That's definitely me.
You were the wingman?
I was definitely funnier. So,
You're the comedic relief.
Yeah.
He straight up told me that one time. Like there was a short period in our friendship where we would go on dates. Mm-hmm. He would have a girl, and I'd be like, does she have a friend? And he'd be like, I don't know, I'll ask her. I'm fairly certain he never fucking asked her. He just needed to focus their attention somewhere else. And so then we'd inevitably all three end up at dinner. I'm entertaining, and then I go home.
Tell the story about when y'all were at Tarleton and the lady cop.
There were two instances with the lady cop. The first one was they have this thing at Tarleton called the snake dance. I don't know if they still do it.
And she had ties to Knox City.
Did she?
Yeah,
I
her
didn't know
sister
that.
was a teacher here.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Me and her, she was cool. She liked me. But they do this thing called the snake dance, and you like leave the auditorium, and I mean, y'all know me. I've never been very good for ceremonies, so like this is like something you're supposed to do. I don't whatever. And so we're all walking this big long line, and I see the little cop lady driving by, and I just hollered at her. I was like, hey, can you give me a ride? And she was like, yeah. So she gives me a ride. And I don't know if Zach got in or not, but she gave me a ride up to the front. And, like, with the lights and the sirens on and everything like that. And we do the little tea deal. And that's, like, kind of how me and her became cool. And then, and this, I think this is
because you lived at Tarleton and didn't go to school your second semester, right?
Basically.
Yeah, you just lived in the dorms.
I mean,
off
I
of
was
people.
enrolled.
Oh, you were enrolled
I sure
still?
was.
Okay.
I paid, and they sure want their money back. I know that. So that you leave. I mean, you think they have bigger problems, but they really. You know what I'm saying?
You think they had bigger problems than what you're
well, my little shitty ass 6 months there was. I was a year and a half put it all together, but yeah, they're calling me for it. Shit, you got paid. Yeah, still paying y'all. But I was. I don't know. I was inebriated, I'm sure. I'm positive. And I was walking across campus, and she was driving across campus, and I hollered at her to give me a ride back to the dorm, and I wanted to look cool. So I was wasted, and she drove me all the way back to the dorms, and I was like, turn on the lights and sirens and make a big thing out of it. And, like, she turns on the lights and sirens and runs me up there, and fucking Zach and everybody were sitting outside, and she dropped me off there at the dorms, and I was just shithoused, and I didn't get MIC for that. But then shortly thereafter, I did, because I went back across campus.
She did?
No, it was another cop.
Didn't y'all go to a restaurant one night and y'all were real drunk?
Yeah, that was. I think Brandon about shit a brick that time.
That's okay. Yeah, that's
we were
the
at
story.
Peacocks. Yeah, Peacocks, and I drove because Brandon didn't want to drive, and we were all just the same amount of drunk. But
All the same amount of drunk.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm a good driver, man. I'm
a good drunk driver.
And I did wonderful. We got all the way there, even backed that big son of a bitch in there, too. Went into Peacocks, and we're sitting there, and there's this group of girls behind us. I think there were girls and maybe a guy. And we're not being, professional. And we're just hollering and laughing and having a good time. And they call the waiter on us. And the waiter comes over there, and she's like, hey, can you guys just kind of keep it down a little bit? And we're like, yes, ma'am, sorry. So really it was Brandon who answered.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yes,
the best of us answered. And we continue on, and she made the mistake of telling Zach that this table behind us was complaining. And so he makes a few choice word statements directed towards these young ladies. And I'm sitting there, and I am talking real loud. And Brandon's face goes from, like, laughter to just, like, white. And there's these 2 police officers that come in behind us, and they don't say anything. And Zach's like, I'm not going to repeat what he said. But anyways, he says it as they walk up. And she says, have you boys been drinking tonight? And Brandon's like, no, I haven't. And I'm like, oh, man, you're lying.
This would be like Porky's. That drunk fucker does it all the time.
She said, no. And I was like, yeah, we've been drinking. She said, how much have you had to drink? And I was like, oh, I don't know what I told her. My mom always said, don't lie to the police.
Right.
I didn't do it. So I was like, yeah, I've been drinking. And she goes, who drove? And I was like, well, I'm not going to it's Brandon's truck. They already ran all his info. They took his license. They know whose truck it is. He's fixing to go down. And
Dusty's not going to be happy.
Dusty's not going to be happy. So I was like, well, I can't let him take the blame for this. So me, not thinking, says, I drove. I said, whatever happens, I'll take it. So I drove. She goes, let me see your ID. So she takes my ID, and she comes back. She goes, Mr. Rodriguez, you have a suspended license. Oh. And I was like, fuck. I did not see that coming. And so Brandon's face just gets worse because he's like, this is only worse now. And so she goes, I'll tell you what I'll do. So I'm going to talk to the wait staff, and if I come back here and I find out that y'all were rude to the wait staff, I'm taking all y'all to jail right now.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm like, fuck.
I
don't remember.
Are we rude?
Yeah.
Were we rude?
We're just rude to those girls. So she goes in the back, and we're all standing there, like, looking at this waitress, just like, oh, come on.
Don't be
she's like,
solid.
no, they were nice. They were nice and respectful. They were nice and respectful. And so she comes back, and she says, you get somebody here. You got to get somebody here in 10 minutes, or y'all are going to jail. So I was like, fuck, all right. Another hoop we got to jump through. So finally, Emma comes and picks us up, and takes us all back to the dorms, and that was a bullet that we dodged there.
The lady cop there,
Mm-hmm.
her sister calls Michelle, and she said, "Hey, my sister's a police officer at Tarleton State." Michelle's like, "Oh shit," and she says, and she tells her about the story. She was one of them there.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I feel like Zach might have told me that a long time ago.
Now let's talk about something else that's really funny. The MIP.
Which one?
The one where y'all had to go to the Wichita Falls to the alcohol awareness class. Me and Michelle were parents of the year with Zach, if y'all can tell by listening to this. Y'all got an MIP, and y'all had to go. Now, tell us about the lady that you knew at MIP. Y'all had to go to alcohol school, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me a story about the alcohol school.
Well, it was funny happenstance, actually. So, funny how this all worked out. From the beginning,
you got an MIP somewhere else, right?
So me and another fella had been to Wichita to Denim and Diamonds when it was popular.
It's not even open now, is it?
No, it was called something else. I can't remember. They've tried several things. It's just
was it Stage West after that or something?
No, that was a separate bar on the other side of town. Okay. But we were coming back, and he got pulled over, and I'd been drinking, and like I woke up to cop lights, and I'm 18, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm chunking beers out, of course. And the cop let me, that night I said, I'm going to drive your Raptor home. And he said, no, you're not. And that cop let me drive that Raptor home that night when he took his ass to jail. So I got that MIP. I get to school Monday, and I tell all the boys at the breakfast table about it. And Zach, comically points and laughs at me in my face about getting MIP. And that night, his ass tries to hide behind a cloth in a closet from the cops at a party and gets MIP too. And I said, I told you, every time you give me shit, that's what's going to happen. Last time, before that, he gave me shit, and he stepped in a gopher hole and got his damn foot stuck. He was laughing at me because my foot got stuck in some mud, and then he stepped in mud and got his whole leg stuck. And I told him then, quit messing with me, man. This is going to end badly.
He stepped in a gopher hole?
Yeah. We were fishing at a tank, and he fell like knee deep in that shit. But
so Zach was he got in a closet and just had a drape in front of him.
So one of the idiots opened the door. The cops just knocked on the front door, and so instead of opening the window and looking, they just opened the damn door, and so they walk in, and then him and another girl that went to school with us tried to run and hide in the closet like this. Basically, I imagine he was just standing there like this. And he said they just kind of walked in front of it and like, come on out.
Come on, we see your feet.
It's idiots.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's sheer cloth. But so then we had to go to alcohol awareness together. We planned that, so we scheduled it on the same week. We're going to do that for a couple of weeks. And when we first got there, the first alcohol awareness we went to, we were headed back and we got pulled over again. And we had been at the bar at Denim and Diamonds.
After alcohol awareness?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck it. Let's
but
go
we
polish
didn't
this
drink.
over.
We didn't drink there because we couldn't. But we went because we were going to go see if we couldn't see some girls. There were no girls.
No girls.
Turns out they're not there on a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock.
Now,
That's not how that works.
Did you know some people in this alcohol awareness class?
There was a dude in there that acted like he knew everybody. He apparently robbed a Keystone truck on the way to it, and he was very proud that this was his 7th alcohol awareness. and then I got the number of a chick that we went to alcohol awareness with. Ended up going on a date.
I thought
with
there
her.
was a girl that you knew there with her mom.
No, that was the girl whose number I got and tried to date after alcohol awareness.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that didn't work out either. It turns out that's not the best place to meet people. It was alcohol awareness.
No, it's kind of like druggies meeting people at a fucking rehab deal, and then
You'd
they're like,
think.
I don't know why I keep meeting these bad guys or bad girls. Well, fuck, you keep meeting them. They're all fucking zoned out on meth like you are. It's the last place you need to meet somebody.
Surprisingly, she was not the best one.
So
She likes her alcohol.
fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, she lives in. Weird thing is she's moved to Abilene and has worked out at my gym a couple of times. Of course, I don't say anything to her.
Mm-hmm.
She don't recognize
Maybe
you.
with the hair and the mustache, she can.
I was 18 and like 60 pounds heavier at that time, so hopefully they don't recognize me.
I knew a dude that was a trainer in Dallas that met some chick at a bar one night that used to train with him all the time, and found out the next day after he almost had sex with her that it used to be a dude that had sex change.
That's wild.
True story. And he told us this. This was like in the late 80s when he told me this. I'm like, why the fuck would you go around telling everybody that?
Do you keep training her, or like do you drop that person as a client?
He goes,
like, money's money.
Depends on how you.
You know, no. She wasn't training with him anymore.
Ah.
But she goes, I used to go to the bar, to the gym, Gold's Gym.
Oh.
And she was telling him all about it and stuff. And
But she was convincing it. Well, how drunk was he, or was she was convincing enough?
the next day, he told me, he goes, the bad thing is she didn't look that bad. I said, she's got a fucking dick. No, she don't no more.
That's
I
what he
checked.
He said. That's what he said. It ain't there no more.
But I was like, God almighty. Ugh.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I go, I wouldn't tell nobody that story anymore.
That's pretty. I mean, that's a pretty wild.
I'm not
story,
using
though.
his name because of that. He's on my Facebook.
Yeah, I've had some pretty wild clients. I had one chick that she was a sweet gal. Her name was.
That's
Raquel.
always means there's something fucked up about her. She's a sweet gal.
She was a
Not a looker.
a pagan. No, she wasn't. She was a pagan, and so she would go to like a church, a pagan church, and she would worship like Norse gods and stuff. And her name was Raquel, and
Raquel?
yeah, she was cool. I mean,
No.
she was a really nice lady. She brought me some jerky one time.
That's pagan jerky.
Hey, it was pretty damn good, whatever it was. And then she gave me a basil leaf one time to put in my wallet to help with success and profit. I did not.
No
make
shit. I'm gonna give me some
I
fucking
was
basil
broke.
if that works.
Don't do it. I
It
was
don't
broke
help?
as shit.
I'm broke as shit.
I made less money after that. I feel like I lost like 5 clients after that. No, you see some wild stuff when you train over there in Midland and stuff. I mean, that's where I got started at, but that was awful. I did commercial.
Why?
I did commercial training over there, and if you are in the market for a personal trainer, do not go to a commercial personal trainer. Find somebody who's private. This commercial, I'm not going to use their name, but this company that I worked for, so they hired me out. So I get my cert, right? And
Gold's Gym.
the gym was Heroes. That's not there anymore, so it's been like 6 different gyms since.
So when you say commercial, like people just like go to a website and then
you sign
trainer
up.
near me or whatever?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So what they would do was they got me hired on. They said, we'll pay $18 an hour as our head trainer. So I'm like, hell yeah, that'll work. So I go up there. What they don't tell you is we do 30-minute sessions. So it's actually $9 an hour, and you got to
Right.
make sure you stack your sessions up. And you don't have to do your own marketing, which sounds good on the face of it, except you have sales reps, and they do their own They do the marketing for you, and they just sign people because they work on commission, and
Right.
you don't get any commission. So I found out pretty quick that I was making shit money and training I think I got up to 55 clients at one point a week. I was training from like 5 in the morning to probably 9 o'clock at night. And I was like, this is for the birds.
And it's all 30-minute sessions.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So
and
5 in the morning to 9 at night at $18 an hour. That's not bad.
Okay, it's not bad, but it's fucking terrible.
Well, it's even worse at $9 an hour, though.
Yeah, it's even worse. It's even worse when you're only making 9, and then you start doing sales, and you find out that those clients are paying upwards of $49 a session, and you're making $9.
Ooh.
So it's better to have your own things.
Exactly.
Well, I've never been to a trainer.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty obvious to people. People don't see me walking in there doing that. I bet he uses a professional trainer with him.
Right.
Andy looks like someone that would use a professional trainer. What's the big? You just help him do exercises, right?
Well, it's more.
Are you a motivation?
You
or
hold
what are you
people.
doing?
So
hold people accountable.
You ever like, hey, fat ass, and move your ass? Do you do that ever?
So, I mean, some people respond to that. That's not how I train. But like,
because you were the one getting called fat ass.
Yeah,
you know it doesn't work.
That doesn't work for me. That makes me want to be a fatter ass. That's what that makes me retreat inside myself and eat more, because mac and cheese doesn't yell at me. But you can. What was the question? Sorry. What's the point of a trainer?
Yeah,
I don't understand all that.
So, I mean, you can get into specifics. You can be somebody who wants to start in a sport like powerlifting, right? Which is mainly what our gym in Abilene Firehouse kind of deals with. It's kind of angled towards it. But if they want to do powerlifting, then you would search out a coach, especially if you don't have any experience lifting. Namely, though, it's motivation, it's accountability, because you're paying me an hourly rate to be there, and it ain't cheap. Mm-hmm. So if you're dropping a dime to come see me, or you're not going to do it. So that kind of keeps people accountable there. But then you reach these points in weight loss and life mostly, but in weight loss, that these are plateaus, right? They're not plateaus. It's your body becoming more efficient on what you're doing to it. So you have to fix it, right? Like if you start from eating simple as 3 cheeseburgers a day to 2, at a certain point your body's going to get used to running on that, and you'll have to change it and get cleaner. That's what the point is of like clean eating, right? All that shit. But it's really just calories in versus calories out. But a lot of people I find need somebody when they get to that point, more so than when they start out. A lot of people will come to me for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and they'll lose 15, 20 pounds, and then maybe they're coming 2 times a week. Now they cut it down to 1 time a week, and they kind of get on that path. But what happens a lot of the times is you start to hit those walls where you can't lose anything, and you don't know what else to do. And after a certain amount of time, you start banging your head up against the wall. You're just going to stop doing it. You plateau. You don't progress. Your body starts to react in negative ways to that type of training. So really, what I experience with my clients, and like I said, mine are mostly athletes, so jiu-jitsu athletes. So they want to get stronger in jiu-jitsu. So that's what I help them do, obviously. But then my stay-at-home moms, they want to put on some muscle. They don't want to look flabby. One of my other ones, she came in over 200, and she's almost to 190 now. She used to weigh 135. Now she's real, she just gained a bunch of weight. So I think it boils down to somebody needing justification that this is that their weight gain or their situation is not rare to them, right? They're not a piece of crap for being fat or anything like that, but they don't know how to get themselves out of that position, right? You walk in, you weigh yourself, and you're 5 pounds up from the day before. You don't think, it's okay, I'll be 5 pounds down tomorrow. You think, well, you fat ass, eat less, and then you just eat less, right. And it just continues to be a vicious cycle.
So a lot of it is
self-doubt.
Just being accountability for people.
Yeah, and giving them an avenue, dude. Even just working the front desk, people come in and will just unload a bunch of negative shit in their life on me immediately, and it's like I feel like it's probably that too. Getting that mental break. Somebody's yelling at you to get up with the weight, but you're also not thinking about the argument you had at home, or maybe you told your trainer about it. And I don't give a shit. And that's what you want, right? You don't want somebody who these people don't seem to want somebody that's necessarily going to tell them what to do with their life. They just want to tell me about it, and
I would not be good at that.
Get rid of it.
Why? Yeah, you would have, because you fucking love gossip. That would be right up your alley.
No. I would not be good on the advice I would give them back.
Yeah,
I'd kick that fucking bitch out of the house.
Hey, sometimes you do, because as a person that's getting negativity unloaded on you, sometimes you got to respond back. Sometimes it's not what they want to hear. Sometimes
quit being a dumbass and just fucking boot them out.
Shit together, man.
Right.
Like, that's mostly what it is.
So,
a lot of the time.
so that he don't have a fucking job, and you're paying his bills, and he's like, "Fucking get rid of his ass." There's all kinds of guys out there that'll pay your bills.
Oh yeah, that's always that's the funnest advice to give.
See,
three more.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's the kind of deal I'd do.
Give me 2 more sets, by the way.
Yeah, dude, that is so many of my conversations. It's like, no. Okay, yeah, and you got 1 more set. Like,
lift with your legs.
They'll ask a question. It's like, yeah, 1 more set. Anyways, I'm talking about something else.
But what I've noticed, so like it's a lot easier to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning if you know somebody's there waiting on you.
Yeah,
like if I'm just going to work out by myself in my house, if I don't make 6 o'clock, well, the only person I fucked over was myself.
Yeah, right.
Like
exactly.
if I get there at 7, but like Zach, when he was a paramedic, we would work out occasionally, and like if it was 6 o'clock, if I show up there at 7, well, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, he'd been there for an hour.
He'd been there for an hour waiting on me. Yeah. So.
Same with your guide business, right? Why do people come to get it to a guide? You could get on YouTube and learn how to blow a goose call. Well, it's you get better results.
Right, correct.
You get better results with somebody who's professional at it. And also, like you said, I mean, obviously, as you go further down, there are different. But in the accountability sense, right? People come here and they pay to be here because they want a guide. They want better results than what they're getting, or they got a lot of negativity going on in their mind. They want to forget about it, so they come over here, eat a great breakfast, stay the night. Don't have to worry about shit. Just dig your hole and shoot your birds.
Right.
And that's kind of it's the same in that sense where it's like some people it's that simple. I don't want to think. I got money. You do it. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna do the things you tell me to do. I'm gonna get the results I want, or I hope to get, and that's it.
Is it hard to tell people, like, say somebody doesn't get the results that they're looking for, but that they're not putting out the effort to get the results they're looking for?
That's what you tell them.
Really?
I mean, like, so one way that I train is I make it very simple, because my thought process is, unless you're coming to me to get stronger, which is going to take time, and you're going to need to stick with a coach. If you're coming to me for weight loss, I'm going to teach you how to do 2 things. It's the simplest things. You can do them through life. Track your weight, track your calories. It's calories in, calories out. That's all it is. It's how it works. It's just a biological fact. So if somebody comes into me and says, I want results, and in 6 weeks, if they're tracking their calories, eating like they're supposed to, and weighing in so this is going to sound counterintuitive to what everybody says. Stay off the scale. Don't let the scale get in your mind. Really, what you need to do is you need to think of the scale not as your weight, but as a data point. Because the idea is not to lose 30 pounds in a week. It's to lose 30 pounds over time. So you want your average essentially to go down. You get a 7-day average. That's the number we care about. If that number's going up or down, then we're moving good or bad. So if I have a client that comes in and they say, I haven't lost any weight. I'm here. Show me your results. Where's your data? Okay, well, I did you track yesterday? Normally it starts off with, we had a baseball game, and then and they had Sonic, and that's all I had. And I tell it's the same. Did you track it? Did you put it in there?
Right.
No. Well, then I guess we're just going to have to work out. And that's one of my colleagues' phrases. Then I guess we're just going to have fun then, because I don't have anything. I can't do anything for you. I don't have any information. If you come into me and you say, I don't like my results, and here's all my information, and I'm not getting results, then we can go. Then we can do something.
Right.
And normally it's just a habit change. Like, sometimes it's as simple as, what are you doing in the morning? And most of the time it's coffee creamer. Stop taking coffee creamer on a diet. It's a lot.
Good?
It's a lot of sugar.
Coffee creamer?
Coffee creamer. Now, if it's sugar free, potentially, but just
hold on,
leave it. Drink. Just leave it alone.
So, my thing.
And also, who drinks one coffee creamer? It's never just like a little bit. It's never splash.
Which coffee cream we're talking about?
That's what I'm about
Anyone
to
that's
Coffee
got
Mate?
sugar in it. Coffee Mate.
That's just cream, though.
It's sugar,
but
though.
it's got natural. It will have a natural.
28 grams of sugar is 28 grams of sugar.
And a Coffee Mate, I don't give a shit, because I don't always
you
have to have
don't
Coffee Mate. I'm just going to put fucking sugar in it.
Yeah, you might as well, right? You might as well just get you that raw cane sugar and do that, because it's probably I'm pretty sure it's better for you.
The thing that drives me crazy as a skinny person. Now I've got my skinny person hat on.
Yeah.
And Jeff is a former fat person because he's
I'm
had his
still a
Yeah,
fat
I lost
person.
some weight.
But
I was going to say that earlier, but I didn't want to get your head too big.
That's all right.
But
you ain't gonna bother. You ain't gonna build my deal up. I know I'm a fat ass.
The
still.
thing that drives me crazy is when people are like, "I can't lose weight," and I'm like, "Okay." Mm-hmm. They make their diet so fucking complicated. They act like losing weight is like trigonometry, and just like you said, it's calories in, calories out. Yeah. If you move more and eat less, and you burn more calories than you take in, your body's going to just fucking know what to do, and you're going to lose weight.
Yeah, and it's so you've seen. I think there was a doctor who did it. I don't know if he was a doctor or whatever. I'm wildly speculating on the professionalism of this person, but I think he ate McDonald's or something and just ate like a regular 2,000 calorie diet and like only ate McDonald's or something like that, and was able to lose weight. And no, that is not a recommended diet, okay? Just for anybody out there that's fixing to lose their shit. It's not a recommended diet, but it's just an illustration of how calories in versus calories out work. Your body doesn't differentiate between calories necessarily, right? There are theoretically speaking good calories and bad calories, but you would say your quote-unquote bad calories would be from only eating McDonald's, right? Because you're getting a lot of fat and salt and stuff like that in your diet, and your good calories essentially would be from eating more clean food like red meat, chicken and stuff like that. Just that it has less excess to it. But at the end of the day, yeah, if you're moving more, and it's not even necessarily eating less, just you could eat the same amount, move more.
Right.
I mean, half the people you will see that come in 6 weeks see at least. And my rule of thumb is until you lose 15 pounds, you ain't lost no weight.
Right.
But people will come in, and in a few weeks, they'll lose weight just by moving. More. They just did some stuff.
Yeah. I cheated when I lost my weight because I had surgery. I'm down 90 pounds. But not the problem is, it's easy for everybody built like Andy to be critical of others. Now, Andy is very active. He works out all the time. When you're but you do. Have you seen me walking at night and stuff now? I have been because I've lost weight now, and I feel more comfortable walking. Not because I didn't feel uncomfortable because I was a fat ass, just because I didn't have the fucking motivation to go.
It's hard.
But now that I've lost weight, I got to walk every night now. I walk up here, and when we have customers, the other day at the house on Sunday between football games, I got up and went and walked 3 miles.
Good.
Just because, but it's because I'm comfortable and I've lost weight and I've got more energy. So it's easy when someone's skinny to say, well, just get up and go work out. When you're heavy and shit and you ain't got no fucking energy, you save your energy to eat. Once you get done eating, you don't want to do nothing else.
Well, but I am breaking a sweat. It's the meat sweat.
Yeah, but
just hammered down 2 steaks over here.
But I understand those people because I've been there.
Right.
And it's not that you don't want to get up and do shit. It's just hard to get motivated to do stuff. See, now that I've got more energy now, ain't nobody told me to go walk. I've been doing it on my own.
Yeah, but it's also you loop in life. And if you get positive energy, you're going to carry that moving forward. Like when I go on, if I work out 2 weeks in a row, it's easy. But if I take a week off, starting that engine back up, you're like, I don't want to fucking do this.
Yeah, and
if you get stagnant, it gets hard to do the workouts. But if you just do something as simple as, I'm going to walk a lap tonight, I'm going to walk 2 tomorrow, and if you just keep building, that's easy, and that's carrying momentum. But I have the same thing. If I stop working out, I don't want to fucking do it.
But what I'm saying is when I was at my heaviest, I wanted to go do stuff, but I just didn't have to give a fuck. Give a fucker was broke. Now, I don't have anything in my head telling me not to. I just do it. I don't think nothing of it, but it's because I feel better. I don't hurt. I don't walk to the refrigerator and I'm going,
tying your shoes.
I walk all the way around here and shit like that. But it's stuff like little things are victories for me now.
It's always little things.
Sitting in a fucking booth. I used to look at a booth and I'd have to size that motherfucker up. I'd be like,
Am I going to rock the world here?
Am I going to need some butter to get into this fucker or what? Who's at Cheesecake Factory and ate yesterday, and I sit on the back side of the booth. I don't think nothing of it. Or I don't have to move that fucking table all out.
Y'all hold your drinks.
You skinny ones, the table's coming at you.
Yeah. Got to get a hold of your drinks.
Michelle needed arm extenders to eat with me if we had a booth on that side. But you just don't. And when you're heavy and big, you don't. It's just a whole different world.
Yeah.
The funny thing to me is, and it's always this way, is the skinny guy that don't work out that judges somebody else. Well, goddamn, if I was that big, I'd go work. You don't fucking do nothing. You drink beer and eat
skinny
fucking
fat.
cigarettes, and you ain't ever fucking exercised a day in your life.
Yeah.
And you never will.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the human brain is amazing at justifying stuff. So
Yes.
to speak back to what you were saying, Jeff, when I got out of high school, I weighed 230, and I was like a slim 230 for 5'8", right? You know what I'm saying? I was a slimmer 230 than I was when I was 230 again. But anyways, I lost a lot of weight playing six man. Obviously, I lost like 30 pounds. So then I came out of high school weighing 230, and until I was 20, I weighed 235. And all your brain does is tell you that you only gained. Hey man, it's been 2 years. You only gained 5 pounds since high school. 4 years. Now I'm 260. Hey, 4 years, man. That's only like 2 pounds a year, man. You're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, you're fucking 289, almost pushing 300 pounds, and burning down heaters and drinking beer and can't even do step ups, and your blood pressure goes from normal to like a 60-year-old. And that whole time, I never thought like it when somebody says, "How can you let yourself get that fat?" That's not how you're thinking in that time, right? There was a lot of shit going on. Like Dad was dying, and I was handling it by just stuffing my face and pounding beer. So no, I wasn't handling it. But you don't see any of that, right? Because food isn't thought of as no matter how many people say it, it's not thought of as an addiction.
But it is.
It is. It is an addiction in the sense that you can go to it for a place to
It's comfort.
to its comfort, right? And so whatever problems you may be having, your mind's not telling you you're gaining weight by eating this cheeseburger. Your mind's telling you, let's eat this fucking cheeseburger, bro. Mm-hmm. And then you eat it, and then you feel bad, and then your mind just goes, well, we know how to handle this. We got to get dessert. That's what it is. That's what it was. You got
That
something
fucking
spicy,
cheeseburger
and
didn't
now
work,
you need-
but
that cheeseburger a little spicy, so you better get you some Sonic, wash it down, and then you do that, and then before you know it, you're huge, and then, like you said, Jeff, then you don't have the motivation because you're huge and you don't want to do nothing, and then, maybe not you, but a lot of people in particular are like, well, I'm embarrassed to go to the gym because people are looking at you. For those of y'all out there that keep saying that to not go to the gym, nobody's looking at you.
no, they're looking at themselves.
They're looking at themselves or through you trying to get themselves to do the same shit you're trying to get yourself doing while you're sitting on the couch.
Right.
They're just doing it in a different spot. Logan has a good quote that I've heard him say. I don't know if it's his or if he just likes to say it, but he says he finds his motivation during the workout, not before it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you want to get through with it. That's kind of something that I like to try to do too. But yeah, you get that big and your mind's just like, well, we can't do that, whatever reason you might have to it. So you just justify it and go on about your business. Or, hell, it can be as simple as I mowed the yard today, so I don't have to go to the gym. Yeah, you do.
There's little battles for you.
Yeah, it's all little battles.
I got up to 351 pounds. When I got to high school, I weighed 220. No, that was a lot. That's right. I weighed 220 when I got to high school.
Yeah.
When I was in college, about 23, 24 years old, I got down to 189. But I ran every night. I used to run about 5 miles a night. 3 to 5, some nights I'd run 7, 8 miles. I ran every night. I loved to run. Didn't matter what I did. If I had a date, I would go run before I had a date. If I was just going to do something till 10 or 11, I'd go home and run before I'd go to bed at night. But I ran 2 to 5 miles every single night.
Yeah.
And most nights it was 3 to 5 miles every night. Never missed a deal. I went out, ate what I wanted. If I wanted to go somewhere in Thanksgiving and I wanted 3 plates of pumpkin pie, I could eat them and I never gained a weight.
Yeah.
Met Michelle, got married, coached kid baseball, never gained a kid football, everything. Coached every kid sport, active with the boys growing up. Still didn't gain a lot of weight, but I started gaining 5 to 10 pounds a year. Mm-hmm. And you don't notice it until it's 300 pounds and then 310, 320, 330, 340, 351. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I got to lose some fucking weight.
And you're behind the 8 ball by that time,
I didn't have that motivation to do shit. I tell you what, my one of the things is I noticed is we have a shower that we had built. Andy redone our bathroom for us, and it's a brick shower. And you'd walk in, And if I turned sideways, I'd hit my gut on the side sometimes. And I was like, motherfucker, I got to lose some weight. And that's one of the first things I noticed. That's one of the first things I noticed after I had surgery is I don't hit my fucking back and stomach anymore. The other day I was trying to push my stomach out to hit that, and I couldn't do it even. I was like, hell yeah, I'm doing really good now. You know, but it's little things like that you notice, and then it's clothes, and I've had to replace all my clothes. I've had to, I've given away a ton of shit that I had just fat clothes. I'm never going to wear them again.
Yeah, see,
but I couldn't have done it without surgery.
Yeah,
I couldn't exercise to do it. Now I'm exercising more because I've lost some weight.
Do you have to eat like Triscuit and a glass of water, or can you like?
I eat whatever the fuck I want, and here's the deal: I can't eat much of nothing anyways, so it don't matter. I had an ice cream sandwich and then go for lunch. Yeah, because I can eat. I'm gonna eat 3 ounces at a time anyways, just about. Right. So I eat whatever I want. We went to Cheesecake Factory yesterday. I had fucking meatloaf. I was pissed off. I wanted chicken and biscuits, but they fucking COVID shit, fucking chinks. But anyways, I had part of some meatloaf and a little bit of mashed potatoes, and I had a chocolate cake. I took them. Oh, and for the record, Andy bought my dinner last night. Oh, nice. Bought me and Michelle's.
That's right. I did.
I was really disappointed in that. I'd never have them violent dinner. But anyways, I had a piece of chocolate cake. I took it home, ate 20% of it last night about 10 o'clock. I eat what I want. I still lose weight, but I also do more than I ever did. Yeah. So I exercise. I keep up with my miles. I walk every day. And I eat less, but I eat whatever I want. But I can't eat much. A sleeve of crackers, like those little 6 crackers, Ritz crackers that you get with cheese, the prepackaged ones. Yeah. That's 1.5 ounces. And I can eat one of those. I don't eat much, but I eat whatever I want. I'm not eating fucking just lettuce and cottage cheese. Now
But you need to throw some of that shit in there because just an ice cream sandwich does not sound.
No, that's not. I'm having all day. I'll have
an ice cream sandwich
cheese
for lunch is not ideal, Jeff.
Well, I had court this morning, and I knew we were fixing to do this. Yeah. But like Sunday night.
But see, that's what he's saying. That's how you justify it to yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not justifying it. That's what I wanted.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to gain no weight by eating fucking one ice cream sandwich.
But it's not healthy.
No, but fucking I could eat fucking half a dill of lettuce. I didn't want it.
You just want to optimize what you're doing, right? You know, but you can do you can do your thing. You can have both, right? You can have your ice cream sandwich and then go eat your healthy shit.
Well, but for dinner tonight, I'm gonna have
or whatever
the fuck I eat. I don't eat that much stuff. Yeah. So I eat whatever I want, but I also make sure I get my miles in. No, not now. It's not. Yeah, now eventually it might be, but I don't ever drink sodas anymore. Right. I haven't had a soda since March.
Well, I can imagine that would probably cause a lot of problems.
Carbonation, you're not supposed to. But a lot of people have his surgery do. I have not had a soda. I don't eat hardly any.
Is it the lap band, or did they cut your stomach?
I had the sleeve.
Sleeve, okay.
And my stomach's 3 ounces now. It was before that. It was 632 ounces, I think.
See, I had a lady for a little bit that she had. I don't know if she had the sleeve or she had the surgery that made her stomach smaller. But she went from wanting to come in 3 days a week to she got through the first workout. And after that first 1 hour workout, she couldn't go 30 minutes. She'd pass out. She damn near passed out twice in the workouts. And I was like, "Did you eat today?" And she'd be like, "Well, I can only eat 1,000 calories."
See, they didn't have me on any calories. I can eat whatever I want. I mean, they want me to have a low carb diet,
right,
and eat more stuff like
stuff leaner.
Saturday night for dinner, we had steaks at the lodge. Yeah, I had 4 ounces of steak and I had 2 ounces of cottage cheese.
Yeah, maybe carnivore might be like an avenue you can go down. It's mostly lean meat, and it seems to be that's what you can eat the most of. If it were me and that were something I was doing to optimize your intake, I would do something like that. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad idea.
The stuff I eat a regular dinner, what we have for dinner up here, but I have cottage cheese all the time. I'll have a salad. Michelle's
that's
once
not
a day.
Bad, you know?
She's like, you need to eat a salad. Once a day I try to eat a salad. That I don't mind that. The other problem I have has nothing to do with the diet. It's this COVID shit. I had COVID last January. Everything tastes like shit. Yeah. Everything does. Yeah. So my normal taste buds and stuff, I don't know if it's from the surgery or from COVID, but there's things that I like that peas and carrots I had yesterday at Cheesecake Factory. I had peas and carrots, some mashed potatoes, and a little bit of meatloaf. And that was my meal. But I didn't eat enough to fill a kid up. Yeah. Reese could have ate more than I would, but I'm full. But I'm used to that now. Right, yeah. And so when I order stuff, I know if I get a cheeseburger, I'm gonna get 3 meals out of a cheeseburger. Yeah, and that's it. But I don't. But I don't dwell on what I can't have. Yeah. I don't eat anything fried anymore.
That's good.
We had what was it y'all had yesterday for appetizers?
Buffalo Blast.
This is water.
Okay.
By the way,
I bet
Buffalo Blast at Cheesecake Factory, which is some kind of chicken fried. It's a wonton that's fried. It's got buffalo cream cheese and chicken in it. I cut open the stuff and I ate out the middle part. It just had the cream cheese and the chicken because fried stuff doesn't taste good to me.
Oh yeah, it'd jack your stomach up, I'm sure.
Anybody will lose weight on this diet because you can't eat anything.
Yeah.
The people that fuck
Food
up are
restriction
the people that start chugging Cokes and shit.
Yeah, the people that jack all that up. Of course, I mean, to each their own with that surgery. I had a lady that wanted to come in and get the surgery. Hell, she had to lose fucking 60 pounds to get the surgery.
Not if you go to Mexico.
Well,
that's where I went.
That's true. You can do a lot of things down there. But it seemed to me that if you wanted to get the surgery and you're going to lose 60 pounds, why don't you just lose 60 pounds? But
if I would have had to do it in America and I would have had to do the pre-op for 6 months, I would have lost 50 or 60 pounds. I would have never went and had the fucking surgery.
Yeah, you just kept going. Yeah, that's.
But you go to Mexico, you pay them cash, and they do it right there on the spot in 2 weeks, and you're good.
That just reminds me of that Ron White. Careful, this plate's hot.
Yeah,
that makes me laugh every damn time.
You
puts that plate in his head.
you have to know where your boundaries are down there.
Yeah.
And you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I did it. I highly recommend it. I've had a lot of people listen to podcasts have messaged me about it. For me, it worked out really good. Now, I have become a fat shamer, Andy says, because
so.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I see other people.
Very awkward.
I see other people going down the same route I was going on.
They need that surgery.
And I pointed out to a young man in Knox City that's in his mid-30s that's got an issue with his weight. And I told him, listen, this is what you need to do. Well, I didn't know I was saying the bad thing. Everybody talked to me. I can't believe you said that to him. Buddy, I'm trying to save him fucking 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I would as a coach, and I would recommend that if you can lose the weight naturally, please do. But to each their own. I really don't give a shit what people do because I feel like if you want freedom and everything's shit's got to be free. You got to let people do what they want to do. So, I mean, I don't recommend it, but there are situations when you are, Jeff, you were in a situation, man.
It was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I mean, you were in a real situation. 351 is not healthy, not even your height, right?
If I was 7'9", it wouldn't have been healthy.
So there are, and that's what. Here's the thing. That's what surgeries like that are made for. For people that are in an extreme situation, you have these people that unless you want, I guess you want to get famous and get on my 600-pound life and become a circus act, because that's what it is where everybody's going to the circus and look at the fat person, right?
That's right.
But I mean, good on you at least saying, hey man, you need to figure something out, or TLC's going to be down here soon.
Here's the thing.
Nobody wants to be famous like that.
One of the things that really was a motivator for me on this is I thought about doing it, and it just kind of came about where I did it. But one of the motivators was when my dad, his last couple of years, Dad was 270 pounds, and he was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
When you go to an oncology clinic or you go to a hospital, a nursing home, a rehab hospital, and you see that guy that's 180 pounds, 210 pounds, he's not miserable. He may be not hurting and may not be feeling good, but it's not a labor of lungs and just to get around.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that guy.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants to be that
my
guy.
whole life I've been able to do what I wanted. I was a good athlete. I could do anything I wanted, and I've gotten fat.
Yeah.
Well, I can lose that weight now, but this is what it took to get. But I want to get to that point where I can do shit. I mean, my grandkids wear me the fuck out in the pool and shit. I wrestle with them, and I did before, but now I have so much more energy.
And that's what I would say, in order just to keep your strength up, because a guy your size needs to be definitely taking in more than 4 ounces of meat to keep that muscle.
Now I eat
muscle up
6 times a day.
Yeah, if you're eating, that's what I was gonna say. If you're eating pretty often, if you just stay to that lean stuff, then yeah, I mean, a guy your size you just have to pound the protein. Really, you can't have carbs, as you said anyway. So what the fuck does it matter?
And I do. I live on steak, cheese crackers, stuff like that.
How are your poops if you're living on steak?
Dude, let me tell you something.
Are you painting bowls at a Jackson Pollock painting down there?
About every 4 days. It's like I had Taco Bell run to the border. I'm telling you.
Every day I just go in there, paint the bowl, wash it down. And forget it ever happened.
But I don't, and feel better after that too.
Yeah,
it makes me feel completely
clear,
cleaned out. But it is more. But if you're big, I highly recommend it to someone. Now there was a guy in my class, or not my class, at the same time I got surgery, same day.
It's like graduation.
He weighed like
Reunion in 10 years.
he weighed like 230, 235. I go, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that.
He goes, I go up and down 20 or 25 pounds. That you're going to a fucking big extreme because I'll never be able to have a good Thanksgiving dinner again.
Yeah.
Like where you pile shit up. But here's
like
the thing
accepting
is,
things.
here's the thing with that though. Michelle at first would be like, I just feel bad eating in front of you because I'm full. It's not like when I'm on a diet. When you're on a diet and you're fucking starving, I'm full. And I know when I'm full. I have not thrown up. I've been really lucky because there's people that get sick.
That lady, she
None of it.
threw up a lot. She
None.
had a lot of issues.
Not one time. I have not thrown up. Knock on wood, no stomach bug or anything. I have not been sick at all since I had it. Now, sometimes I'll eat too much and I'll be miserable for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, well.
But I usually stop before then. I'll know. I mean, I'll stop.
Yeah, but somebody doing 230 and having that, I mean, that's why you go to Mexico to do it, right? But, yeah, because there's no way a U.S. doctor would have ever, they've been like,
No, I couldn't believe it.
For 20
Get on the
minutes.
treadmill for an extra 15 minutes and you'll be
couldn't
fine.
believe it.
Yeah.
I hate to see that motherfucker right now. He probably looks like one of them fuckers in Ethiopia.
Yeah, he'd probably be, he ain't dead.
With flies flying on his ears and eyes.
Old belly button rubbed
Yeah.
sore on his
Let me
spine.
ask you this, and this might be
sir.
a little bit controversial.
Belly button rubbing.
This might be a little bit controversial. Mexicans love them to death.
This is going to be going down the wrong
doesn't?
path.
They don't,
doesn't?
from my observations, they don't have the best diet.
Nah, we don't.
So
I was 165 pounds as a 12-year-old.
right.
And I can honestly recall a time. There's a reason the food's so fucking good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
terrible for you.
It's
And there's no vegetables anywhere.
like-
if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you're not getting fucking green beans.
They're in the enchilada. We put them in there so you don't have to see them. What more do you? That's why you all want it. What do you think pico is? It's just spicy vegetables.
Well, I never thought of it that way.
See?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce. It's
We're
just
just
blended up vegetables.
blending
What are you
that
doing with
shit
a smoothie, asshole?
That's right.
You're just eating shitty hot sauce.
We have
Yeah,
vegetable
y'all be putting
smoothies.
So
kale and shit
you're
in
pulling
and
out the
ruining it.
Mexicans on this, huh?
But
I can't.
I will say that you're not discouraged from eating an entire meal with bread in your hands.
Right.
Like there was literally a time I remember recalling this as a child, saying we ain't used forks in a while, and we would eat steak and backstrap and stuff like that.
all
Just
the
roll that
tortilla.
shit up in a tortilla, scoop them refried beans up, toss a little cheese in it, and I mean. Also, I was a latchkey kid, so that didn't help either. Like, I
Right.
would come home and eat 2 bowls of Easy Mac in one, and then we'd come
I
home.
want to know what's wrong with fucking eating shit with tortillas all the time. I'm still
There's
trying to
nothing-
find the
That's not
downsides to
There's
this.
nothing wrong with it.
But your fajitas
But you're
have
pounding down. That's
bell
if you-
peppers and onions.
Yeah, but when you cook stuff, you cook a lot of the nutrients out of it.
So it ain't the bell peppers and the onions. That's the good thing. The problem and the steak. The problem is like one homemade tortilla is probably like 400 calories, and so you eat 3 of those
Right.
and you've had a meal. And like I said, I was 12 years, sixth grade. Riley was 165, and I thought that was normal. I thought other kids that were 82 pounds
Right.
were small.
The
I was
poor
like,
fuckers are starving.
Ain't nobody feeding
Look at that
me.
little pussy over
Yeah,
there.
come over here and eat with me. My dad made me 2 scrambled egg sandwiches.
Well, what about
It's just a lot of.
It's
It's
just
the
too
Mexican.
much.
The Mexican food diet it's heavy in carbs.
the Mexico City chicken soup is excellent.
But I
and
will
that's
say
a healthy
that,
soup.
I will say that I have learned that normally when you get the food from the actual, like you go down to Mexico and get the food, it's probably prepared a little bit better.
But they don't have a lot of. They're not using.
They're not
the
using a lot of
over
stuff that we
here.
have.
That's right.
Right,
They're
yeah.
using fresh vegetables, fresh meat.
So yeah, when you're going, so there is a bit of a caveat there, but at the same time, a tortilla, they're not making tortillas any different. You use a shit ton of lard and flour.
No, that you're right on. But
Yeah.
like that Mexico City chicken soup is chicken and rice soup with vegetables in it. That's not
Yeah.
an unhealthy.
I'm
deal
not
at
saying
all.
there's not one fucking dish in the whole Mexican cuisine that's not probably pretty good for you. I'm saying on the macro,
Yeah.
What about Italian food?
I would say the same thing.
Italians
It's,
are
here's
heavy
the
in
thing,
carbs
here's the thing
also.
about
Here's the thing about Europe, and there is a huge difference, right? Obviously, in Europe and America. In America, like it's cool to be jacked and huge and
Right.
and like get big. You want to in Europe, their clothes are literally made small. Some of them, anyways, their clothes are made smaller. It's
There's
more
not a lot of
sleek for
fat
a man to be
people.
like a waif, right? So and also like when you're raised on eating that kind of stuff, you eat less of it. Like we'll pound down street tacos.
Yeah, 'cause they're good.
Americans will, right?
Right.
You can, but if somebody said, "Why don't you eat 3 medium-sized cheeseburgers?" You're gonna be like, "Oh, that can't be good for me. Why not? It's the same fucking thing, dude. If you put cheese, essentially
Don't taste as
calories,
good.
right? Yeah,
Right.
right. Obviously,
Right.
But calories and it's calories here. It's the same thing you're doing. You know, you're kind of doing the same thing there. So it's not necessarily. it's the thought of, like, you know, in Italy, they don't eat it like that, right? They don't eat 4 plates of pasta because they know, oh, that's you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's what we would equivalent to eating a shit ton of cheeseburgers. They're like, oh, that makes you real fucking fat. My uncle Vinny died of that stuff. But then you see Europeans come over here and they get huge.
Right.
You know what I
I
mean?
wonder if it's just a culture switch.
Yeah,
When
I
you
mean,
get
it's
over
gotta
here
be.
and like it's just because there's a lot of Italians here that are just fucking.
Have you ever
humongous.
ate good Norwegian food? Is
I've
there
never
such
been
thing
there.
as Norwegian food?
I don't know anything about that.
I mean,
I bet they would have some good stuff. though.
there. I'm sure there are, but
Yeah.
there's some things. Italian food is good.
They just
I mean,
know how to do
it's
it.
cheese and pasta. I mean, who the fuck don't like cheese and pasta?
Something
Same
about
as
coming
Mexican
from that part
food.
of the world, right?
But you English. Who the fuck is good English food? Spotted dick, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
they just steal. They just
bangers
stole a
and
bu-
mash?
Man, they just stole a bunch of America's food, changed name on it.
But-
But fish and chips, it's just fish and taters.
But there's just not the Mexican food and Italian food, which I think are the two
Just-
best foods
yeah.
there is.
I
I've
would
never
agree
been a
about
real
that.
big fan of French food other than French fries.
Oui.
They, I would think that it's probably just the culture of it. You know, everybody gains weight when they go out of the country on vacation. It's because you ain't never had that shit before.
I love Oriental food.
Yeah,
I've never had anywhere else that them fuckers are all skinny.
Because they don't have they don't have enough of it.
There's no cheese in it.
Yeah,
Right.
You ever had Chinese food with
that's
cheese?
true.
None.
That's true. I have not had Chinese food with cheese in it. I have, but I mean,
They
not
eat
enough of it.
they eat seafood.
Yeah,
They-
seafood and white rice all the
Yeah.
time.
I mean, you're eating shit that's not
And
going
they
to
also,
get
I bet they don't load theirs with MSG
Yeah.
like they do ours.
you. Unless you've seen how many fucking Chinese fake people you seen fat other than a sumo wrestler? None.
That's what I'm saying. The people from foreign countries come to America and get fat. You
Yes.
come here to get fat because we have fat food.
Yep. We eat lots of proteins. We take protein for granted.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. I mean, them fuckers are eating beetles and shit.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard some of them are good, like their fried grasshoppers and fried scorpions and shit like that. I think they do that on the, and like the
I would like to be on that show.
which
Andrew Zimmerman, when he goes and eats weird shit.
what is that show called?
God, I can't remember. I used to
Man
watch it all the
versus
time.
Food or some
No,
shit like
it's
that?
God dang it, whatever it is. Somebody will trust me. We get
Yeah.
somebody will send me a
Somebody
message
in the
tomorrow.
comments will be
Whatever that show.
screaming
I
their head
like
off.
that show because I like the weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he eats a lot of shit I wouldn't have too, but a lot of stuff he does.
This says so. Sumo wrestlers basically do like intermittent fasting.
You just pound food in one time.
They skip breakfast, which helps slows their metabolism down in the morning. They exercise fasted, and then they only eat like twice a day, and then they take a nap right after they eat,
That's how you do
so
it
that
right
they
there.
just that
It
shit just sits in there.
Yeah, you just huge insulin dump and then go right to bed.
Just I'm finished for today.
And see, that almost sounds counterintuitive to what intermittent fasting, like in America, is used
Right.
for, right? Because it's used to boost HGH levels,
Mhm.
right? Like the pseudo. I don't want to say pseudoscience. My science, which is like, I read an article for an hour. No, I did intermittent fasting for a little bit, but as far as numbers go, I don't recall. But basically, the basic idea behind doing it for a reason is that when you go to sleep, everybody says you don't go get big when you eat, or when you lift, you get big when you sleep, right? That's what happens. Your body stops producing insulin at a certain point, starts producing HGH, so your body can recover. So the idea of intermittent fasting is we're just going to try to prolong that by waking up in the morning and not eating breakfast, not spiking insulin. That's why, like, black coffee is a huge staple of intermittent fasting because it doesn't have enough calories necessarily to spike your insulin.
Right.
Now, there's been some debate that some people's blood sugars it actually could and stop and make you stop doing it. Some people, it turns out people are different and their bodies respond differently to things.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if you're not taking in any calories, the best way to do it is just water anyways. If you just drink straight water, and it's about 4 to 6, depending on how good at fasting you are, the idea is to increase your HGH production by triple %, essentially. And so it's kind of funny that they would say that they do it so they slow their metabolism when actually you're boosting your HGH would boost your metabolism.
Right.
But also, like I said, I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, so.
DrSamRobbins.com. How to gain weight like a sumo wrestler. Skip breakfast. This helps slows your metabolism in the morning. Eating speeds it up. Exercise in a fasted state. Empty stomach for 3 to 5 hours. This increases the cortisol and stress hormones, so your body is now in a fat conservation survival mode. That's what I've always.
So they're doing it backwards.
That's what I've always. Because I don't ever eat breakfast, which is terrible for
Most
me.
people don't. Almost everybody doesn't.
It's terrible for you.
Breakfast is terrible for you?
No,
It's not terrible.
no,
It's
it's
my
terrible that
favorite
I.
meal.
It's
No,
terrible
not-
that I
not eating.
skip it.
Not eating breakfast.
Nobody
is
wants to
terrible.
make breakfast, but who doesn't love to go to a cafe and have a real breakfast?
No, but I don't eat breakfast, and I know it's bad for me, but I just
I'd
never
rather
do
sleep.
it. But yeah, but I've had a hell of a time losing. Like we're going on vacation, I cannot lose the last 10 pounds that I want to lose, and it's all because I skipped breakfast and I'm in fucking survival mode. My body's just storing fat.
Well, you know what you can do? You can track your calories and track your weight.
I don't have time.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that because that would require effort.
Is there an app for that?
Yeah, do you guys have an app for that? Can I Uber that here? DoorDash is killing my fucking bank account, by the way.
Really?
It's killing me.
Why?
I'll be at the girlfriend's house, man.
Oh.
I'm like, you want to cook? She's like, I don't want to cook. I'm like, fucking.
DoorDash.
Abuelo's is right down the street.
So
baby.
like, how does like tracking calorie? And I don't want to be a calorie counter. That's such a buzzkill.
I mean, there literally is an app for it.
So I could put in. I had chicken parm. My birthday was 2 days ago. I had chicken parm.
Yeah.
Just
So
punch it in.
You type in chicken parm, find the closest thing to it, right? You know, you want to get an idea of, you know, you look at it and say, okay, that looks like 12 ounces of fucking chicken parm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to type in chicken parm on MyFitnessPal, and that's where it's at. It's a free app, and you just pick one that's close to it. I mean, it's not an exact thing. It's not like if you're over by 50 calories, you're fucking going to gain 50 pounds.
Right.
But the idea is after a while, actually it kind of circles back to a point I was going to make earlier. After a while in my style of coaching, you'll be able to just look at it, right? Like you won't have to necessarily track calories because you'll get used to eating to a certain point, or you'll eat that way so much that at a certain point, you will just be able to be like, okay, that's probably around 2,000 calories for the day. And that's where you want to be at as a healthy human, to where you don't have to chase numbers and chase your weight, where you may not have to step on the scale, except every once in a while just to take a look. And if you're like, oh shit, I'm up 20 pounds, well then you just go, okay, I know how to handle this now. All I have to do is this. And then maybe if you have to, you re-download the app, but it's to get you self-sufficient. It's unrealistic to think somebody should need a trainer to keep them losing weight the rest of their life, unless they have a debilitating disease or something like that. It's unrealistic for you to want to pay me this much money the rest of your life. Because you know, weight loss isn't something that you do, or staying healthy ain't something you do for 6 months and it just lasts. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. No matter how bad you think it does, because you went and took some 10,000 steps on Monday, doesn't mean you can be an asshole on Tuesday.
See, and I've thought about maybe getting my blood sampled.
That'd
seeing
be
about
good.
Testosterone.
Hey,
But I don't want to fuck up my natural production of testosterone for the rest of my life.
I don't want to ask the personal question,
Go ahead.
but is it because of ED or no?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Well, then there's
No.
no need to go to get your blood tested.
Why?
VD.
BD.
Oh.
Erectile
ED.
dysfunction.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
VD.
No, not
Yeah.
Well,
VD.
that's
No,
basically
that would
same
definitely
shit.
mean your dick's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, too much.
Too much. You need to stop.
Yeah.
I don't know that testosterone's what you need.
No,
but,
it still works fine. We have a healthy love life,
Right.
This is not what I needed to hear about.
but
Well, that's
I could cheat a little bit and get testosterone.
Whoa.
so at now. How old are you now?
34.
34. So like at 35, you're in your peak. You're essentially in your peak athletic performance. And like peak at your peak, you start to decline. I don't know the science on how it declines your testosterone or whatever, but generally speaking, unless you're trying to get big and strong, or you're having marital issues, then I would just kind of
Stay away from it?
discourage it because, I mean, you don't need it. if you're trying to get jacked, like if you're like, no, right,
No,
I want to pull 900-pound deadlift in 3 years.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Oh, well, then pack on the test and get some tren and D-ball in there too, and let's go. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't want to do that, then no, because here's what will happen. You will 100% jack your hormones up, and you will now be on steroids the rest of your life. Some in some form or another, because you don't have to just take steroid. You don't take just the steroid. You now have to take PCT, post-cycle treatment. Mm-hmm. So now, if you're going to get back off of them, which this is why most people don't, because post-cycle treatment's just as expensive, if not more, but you have to get all your shit back in order. You got to get all your hormones back in order. So you're now spending, and I'm just ballparking here, but I'd be lying if it hadn't been quoted to me a couple of times. You're probably going to drop $1,500 a month on juice, if not more.
Jesus, no, I don't want to.
They don't sell you a 6-month package. They sell it like cocaine, just a little bit at a time.
Couple vials here and there.
Vials here and there. Maybe I have some in 6 weeks. Better make it last. So then you just buy more of it.
So during this post-cycle treatment, what's your erection during that time?
I wouldn't know.
I'm not saying you personally, but
I don't know the
like when you're getting all
solid
your
8-inch thumper.
Well, when you're getting all your hormones back in order, I gotta assume that's gonna fuck with your
I would
blood
assume
flow.
too. Yeah, I would assume that because in the post-cycle treatment, I'm not completely sure of what all it contains, but I'm fairly certain it has some estrogen and stuff in there.
Right.
Because you got to get those hormone levels down, but your hormone levels are fucked for the rest of for
about
a while.
1.5% a year on average is what your testosterone decreases.
Okay.
After about 35.
So mine's minus 42 by now.
Yeah. I will say though, if you do have problems with the ED, there's this supplement called citrulline, and it can
Let me write that down. Wait a second. If you don't have a problem, does it just enhance it?
Let me tell you, I take citrulline all the time.
Citrulline, is that with the S or with the C?
It is with a C.
Okay.
You can buy it at a reputable drug emporium. There's one you can get it in Abilene. It's third-party tested.
Okay.
And but I use it because I do jiu-jitsu all the time. So it really aids in. My dad had vasculitis, and vasculitis is a constricting of the blood vessels. So what citrulline does is open up your veins. It opens up your veins after a while. So you have to take it for a good long while. But
Okay.
But
Riley, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeff. It'll get you going if you don't have no problems in that.
So it'll enhance it even more.
Yeah, you'd be strong.
Just like a thumper.
Yeah, like a baby's arm
Listen,
holding an apple, baby.
I don't want to scare anybody away by taking this. I don't want to be freakish down there.
Why? Jesse's gonna be like, you stay at home.
To get off that citrulline. So when did you become the guy to go to for jiu-jitsu? You've got some heavy hitters in your camp.
I would say, okay, so I don't want to say that. I'm not the guy to go to for jiu-jitsu, right?
In Abilene.
Right, but if you are looking for jiu-jitsu strength and conditioning, I have I wouldn't say the guy, but I have a few clients. I have one of my guys, Hunter Tucker. He's a blue belt. I think he's leading the national points leader in the blue belt division right now. But black belt Caesar, I think he took second at Pans. I'm not sure where his points are, but I mean I do have some pretty good guys that train with me. But really, it was born out of my obsession with just not wanting to get my ass kicked, but also I'm a coach and I should try to get better at this. And then also I have kind of a entrepreneurial capitalist mindset. So it's how can I
this t-shirt of yours.
Yeah, let me monetize
right
this. Heathen Training, baby.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, how can I monetize this and turn this into something? I had started Heathen Training beforehand. You can, by the way, it's at Heathen Training on Instagram. If you want to order any apparel, just message me on Instagram right now. We'll have a website soon.
And you make all your own shit.
Yeah, I make all my own shit, my designs and everything. So, and it's completely funded out of pocket. So if it takes a little bit to get your product, it's because I'm fucking making it, all right, with my hands.
I am the Mexican that is making
I am
this.
the guy. I am the team, okay? But, yeah, so I started Heathen Training, and it used to be Battle Ready, and that was so douchey. I hated it real bad.
Heathen Training's way better.
Way better. It fits way more.
Battle Ready.
But, yeah. Hey, you old lady.
Get battle ready.
Get battle ready. Somebody's coming at you. Anyways, it fit honestly with the motif of my training. I was like, maybe I should train martial artists or do strength and conditioning for martial artists. So they don't come to me for jiu-jitsu, obviously. They come for me.
Right.
I do plyometric conditioning and strengths for them. They just asked me, honestly. Caesar just asked me one time. They knew I was a coach. He said, hey, can you help me out? I said, sure. And then he came in, and then Hunter started coming in. They've been coming in with me for almost 8 months now.
In the jiu-jitsu world, do you notice that a lot of guys don't lift weights?
Yes.
Like they only do jiu-jitsu?
They either only lift weights or and do jiu-jitsu, or they don't lift at all.
Right.
So you have a lot of guys, which is why you can see like a lot of big dudes that do jiu-jitsu, big round guys, you know, because they're just doing jiu-jitsu, and they're probably cardiovascular better than, you know, most people out there, but they're not. You know, they don't look like they do jiu-jitsu. Honestly, it's born out of the fact that there are no programs out there that specifically make you better at jiu-jitsu. So that is kind of my goal, is to be the program that not only makes you because like even the great Danaher says like there's not really a program if you want to do bodybuilding, if you want to do basically anything helps, right? Whatever you want to do. But nobody has a recognized program out there for strength and conditioning for jiu-jitsu itself, and I feel like it lacks in that department, as not as a sport, but a lot of athletes could benefit from that a lot more, because a lot of the issues that you have when you first start jiu-jitsu are not anything that really you're going to suck. Everybody's better than you.
You're just terrible.
Yeah, you're just terrible. But a lot of the issues you have aren't even in that sense. It's in the mind, I guess. It's breathing. It's controlling your, you know, not only jiu-jitsu teaches you how to do that, but also if you were to transfer that into an athletic performance mindset, if you're going to jiu-jitsu but then you're also going and doing strength and conditioning all the time, and the strength and conditioning is a piece of your jiu-jitsu, like the moves I use, the lifts we do, like we're not doing squat, bench, and dead every day. We're doing variations that make you better at doing jiu-jitsu. Like maybe you don't know what you're doing, but you're a fucking problem anyways, because you know your legs are strong, your breathing is right, you can breathe, you're conditioned well. Like you know, just doing rounds all the time makes you great for doing rounds, but you know the guy jiu-jitsu's made for the small guy to get a leg up on the big guy. Right. Well, if he's always going to be bigger than you and stronger than you. And at a certain point, like they can, you know, crush your ass. But like, like it's at a certain point, man, guard just don't work. Right. You know, and everybody knows that, because in the street you can throw punches. Yes, we know that in jiu-jitsu that they will throw punches at you. We get it. The point is, yeah, but you're not throwing a lot of jabs when somebody's got a double leg on your ass.
Right. Yeah.
But
lifting weights and doing like plyometrics can enhance. It can get you further. It can get you further faster. Yeah, maybe in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it can get you further it can make you more capable, and when you learn those techniques, which always take time, now you're explosive. Now when you figure out how to bridge and counter mount, you know, your hips are explosive, and that guy's not always going to weigh 135. He might weigh 200 fucking pounds. Right. And you might be 135. But if you can hip thrust 225, you're not probably going to have a problem with this guy. Right. You know, so that's kind of the idea of...
It's just like anything. Everything is technique in jiu-jitsu.
Right, yeah.
But if you have technique and now all of a sudden you got a little bit of explosiveness to you...
Yeah.
You're that much better.
And here's the thing: a lot of people that do things like that, I've found, because there's a lot of parallels. I don't know how long what the time limit is on going.
There is not.
Okay, cool. So, anyways, I do have a dog in the car.
We got 15 more minutes. I gotta go get my kid.
Okay, cool. There are a lot of parallels when you coach and then in jiu-jitsu. People that come to get coaching aren't Andy. Right? Andy doesn't come for coaching. Andy knows what he wants to do when he goes into the gym, more than likely. And if he doesn't know, he's probably bought a $50 program and he's going to go do his thing because he's a cheap ass. But in jiu-jitsu, these people that are coming in here aren't D1 athletes. You know what I mean? Like it's like anything else. But these people, they're not normally your D1 athletes. Sometimes it's a dad. Most of the time it's a dad or that just wants to come in and train better, and sometimes they explode like somebody like Logan, right? Who who just walks on the mats and he's a monster, right? I mean, he was probably a monster from the time he was a white belt. And some people are just regular, and those regular people deserve a chance to be better at jiu-jitsu or powerlifting or whatever, right? Whatever their goal is. Some people come in for a marathon. You can still use strength and conditioning for that as well. It's a chance to make athletes better and regular people athletes, I guess is how I would put that.
Yeah.
You know, and to feel like an athlete. You get your ass choked out 3 days a week on the mats. It's hard to want to go back every day because it just keeps happening. I've noticed. It continuously happens.
So we'll start wrapping up here because you got a dog in the car and I got to go get my my eldest. So what is when you think, like, what's the one memory that pops into your head when you think of your time with Zach?
Man, there's too many. I think the one memory that I always usually come back to, especially specifically here, was maybe not something people would consider to be proud of, but I was pretty damn proud of it. There was a birthday party one weekend, and the girl was throwing it. The juniors, we were seniors. The juniors were throwing it, and we had gone to the bar. I think Randy Rogers was playing or something. We left Wichita. We knew the party was going on. We didn't go. We come back Monday morning, or Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was. The basketball boys had played like shit the day after the party.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we get called into the coach's office, and Steele's like, all right, where was the party at? Or who threw the party? And we say, we don't know. And he says, bullshit. We did know who threw the party, but we weren't ratting nobody out.
Mama didn't raise no snitch.
That's right. And for the record, I never snitched when I was in court with Jeff either. They knew I was lying.
To circle back to that story and finish
I did not snitch. I took all the blame for that beer. But
you do that quite a bit.
I'm just like, man, I'll take it.
I did it.
Fuck it.
I did. Did you watch Outer Banks?
Gets us out of here faster? All right, I'll did it.
Did you watch Outer Banks?
I did watch the first season.
You're like JJ on there. He's like,
JJ?
fuck it.
Whatever,
I did it.
You all suspect I'm the brown one, so it's fine. It's easy.
It's easier this way. They were looking at me anyway.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Y'all are looking at me anyways. Y'all found my cooler. But they said, who threw the party? And we didn't know. And then they said, Steele goes, so you guys are telling me that there was a party this weekend and none of y'all went. And without missing the beat, Zach goes, no, we went. We were drinking this weekend. We were just drinking at the bar. And they were like, they all shook their heads. It ended up being, they took Zach in there by himself. And it was like, I think they thought maybe Jesse got it for him or something like that. I don't remember how.
At the bar?
No, it was Cody Wayne Scott. His wife.
Oh.
They thought she had done it. She was subbing for us the weekend. They were like, did you get her to do it? And I was like, no, I didn't get the sub to get me beer.
And I'm not going to throw her under the bus if she did.
Yeah, right. Like, for real.
I'm going to see her again. It's a small community.
Yeah. We're just going to go ahead and tell on them. But, yeah, that was always a favorite memory of mine. And then also.
Just because Zach was like, we were drinking, but it wasn't at that party.
Yeah. And then probably when we had to pull Luther off the principal. That is probably the best explanation of our friendship in a nutshell. Like, we're sitting there, this dude loses his shit, like 2 pieces of principal. Zach jumps up, puts him in a headlock. I'd see Zach run. I turn around and look. Zach's got him in a headlock, and the dude's like standing up with Zach on his neck. And I'd like sprint over there and tackle him into the corner, and then we just like drag his ass out of the. He was crazy. And that's, life in a small town. They just leave the schizophrenic kid in school.
We're just waiting for a school shooting.
I mean, he passed every grade. Never did get held back one time.
Walk the stage with y'all.
Just get his ass out of here, they said.
So how hard, when you made this transition to live a healthier life, how hard was it, getting on the cleaner side of, you were pounding marbles and Coors Lights? Like,
yeah. For me,
what was that like?
I mean, I guess the wake-up call was with the doctor, but it wasn't honestly that difficult once I made the decision, right? Just like,
this is what I got to do.
Yeah, I got to do this. And, like, when I was I'd smoked for like 4 years, and then I was like, well, smoking doesn't help working out, so I'll stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stopped smoking, and then I kept drinking, so I didn't still make the best choices, but smoked less. For me, it was just making the decision. I think for anybody out there that wants to do that, you just literally have to make the decision, just like you make the decision that you're going to go to work every day. Like, I don't want to go to work every day, but I also like food in my home, so I'll just go. So it's like, I don't want to go to the gym. You're not going to want to go to the gym every day, but you just go. And even if it's for 30 minutes, and that's what I used to tell myself, right? And then you find something in the gym. You find something in yourself, hopefully. And like mine was, I want to lose this much weight. I'm tired of being fat, so I'm going to fix it. I figured out there were 3,600 calories in a pound, and you better believe, by God, I was going to the gym, burn 3,600 calories every fucking day. And don't do that, because you lose weight real fast. And then,
And then you look sick.
and then you look gross. Yeah, and then you're all flabby, and you're like, fuck.
So is there a way to lose weight where you don't get like the excess? If you're a big person,
No.
It's just
I mean,
gonna happen?
it depends on how big you are, man. It's all displacement, right? Like,
Right.
That's how I explain it to people. If you're 400 pounds and you got a fupa and you lose the weight, I'm sorry, you're still gonna have that skin from there. I mean, it don't suck back up. The best way I can tell people to do it is do it slowly.
right?
If you lose 80 pounds in a week, or in 6 weeks or 6 months, it's going to be there. But if you lose 80 pounds over a year, over year and a half, your body's going to have time to catch up. Yeah,
Right.
It's just like sucking water out of a bag. Essentially, it's the way I.
You stretch that bitch out.
You stretched that bitch too far, man. You got too much skin, baby.
Yeah. Well, Riley, we appreciate you coming all the way out
I appreciate y'all having me.
It is. It's almost 3 o'clock, so I gotta.
Yeah, I got to
hit the
skedaddle
road.
myself.
You got customers wait. You got some pain to inflict on some poor
Yeah, I got a
people
class. I got a class tonight, and maybe try to do some jiu-jitsu later. So, should probably get on out of here.
tonight. It's great.
But,
It's crazy to think that pounding cigarettes and beer, and now look at you. You're the picture of health.
Full circle.
Full circle, baby. You just want to try to do everything in life.
Yeah. I like to experience all aspects of life, and I just felt like I had to go down that road real quick and then turn around. And,
So it's Heathen Training on Instagram, and
Yes,
then people
sir.
can just drop you a line if they want to see any merch they like. They can.
Yes, sir. The website
too.
should be up soon, and it'll just be heathentraining.com. You'll be able to go there and get any apparel you want. Got some new winter merch coming out. There's also I'll have a booth at our West Texas Open powerlifting meet, which is October 9th, so that's next weekend.
Coming up.
So if y'all want to swing by, if you're in the area, Abilene area, we'll be at Sock Dollar at a brewing company. Come by, pick up some decent swag, see some lifts, and get drunk if you want to.
See, I couldn't. You couldn't be my trainer. We would fuck off and we would tell too many stories. We wouldn't get shit
Dude,
done.
I got a lot of clients I tell a lot of stories with. In between, I just try to make them do some push-ups or
Fuck.
something.
Here we are 3 hours later. I've done 10 push-ups and a sit-up.
I've done 10 push-ups and a sit-up and paid you my rent.
Well, good luck. Maybe next time we do this, we can get Zach out here.
Yeah,
that might
that'd
be
be good.
That might be dangerous, though.
That'd be a good time. We'll get a little. He's drinking again, so I'll have a couple brewskis with him. I think.
He went from one extreme to the other.
That's what he does, man.
He just-
Remember we went to college. He was a frat boy, polo
full send on the
head to
frat
toe.
boy.
He was polo head to toe, and then we got out and we were back in Levi's punching cows again.
And then he went to the oil field.
And we got the skull. He got a skull and a sledgehammer, and a fucking pipe wrench tattooed on his back. And I told him when he got it that was a bad idea. The night he got it, he said, "I'm gonna do this," and I said, "You shouldn't do that." And then he did
The
it.
oil field goes up and down
Yeah,
like
then
nobody's
then
here
he
forever.
fucking did it, and I said, "Well, you better not ever quit the fucking oil field." And look at him now. I asked him if he did some cool ass like wild EMT stuff and like sutured his own shit up when his horse fell with him. He was like, "No, I just laid there and yelled help."
Glad all that training paid
Yeah,
off.
I'm glad that paid off, man.
So Heathen Training, it's a lot better than Battle Ready.
Yeah, it's way better.
We're glad you got that figured out.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
bud. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Go check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Check out Bangtail Whiskey, Eyesight Drone Service, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Gun Dog Outdoors, Goose Creek Retrievers, Shin Gear Waders, Pacific Calls, Dive Bomb Industries, Ball Shot Shells, Dirty Duck Coffee, and Lucky Duck.